Good morning, children. How you all are? I hope you all got the notes of first lesson and you all have written. Okay, children. Before starting today's lesson, I would like to tell you a quote. Okay, the quote says that if you risk anything in your life, you risk everything in your life, isn't it? So, meaning is taking the good risk or the challengeable risk will lead you for the success. For example, Vijay Shankeshwari has taken a risk of putting the buses. He put one bus, two buses, then simultaneously he started growing accordingly and he has taken the risk and you know that in what position he is today. So some healthy risk you need to take in your life. Okay, thank you. Okay, so last class we were discussing about the Islam, isn't it? So now, what are the teachings or preachings of Islam? Prophet Muhammad, what he has taught us, and what are the basic things which we should know, and why we should follow those things, and why it becomes so important not only for Muslims, for other caste people also. What the teachings he has taught, and they are very famous, and how they lead a common man in a right path. Okay, so I would like to tell you to open page number 25. Okay, page number 25, you all open your textbook and just read with me, then we'll understand what it is. Okay, so page number 25 and the first point, that is five pillars of Islam. Okay, children, we'll start. Okay. First point, the absolute focus on Islamic PT is Allah, the supreme, all knowing, all powerful, and above all merciful God. The second pillar of Islam is Salah, the requirement to pray 5 times a day at a fixed times during the day. Zakah or alms is the third pillar of Islam. All those who have the means are required to give alms to the poor as a way of serving God. The fourth point says that the fourth pillar of Islam is Swam or fasting. The Quran prescribes fasting during the month of Ramadan, the ninth month of the 12th month Islamic lunar year. The month of Ramadan is sacred because the first revelation of Quran is said to have occurred during this month. The fifth pillar requires that Muslims who have physical and financial ability should perform the pilgrimage or Hajj to Mecca at least once in a lifetime. To Muslims, the Quran is the word of God in which God expresses His will for mankind. The word Quran comes from the Arabic word meaning recitation. It governs the whole of Muslim's life as it describes and tells how a Muslim is to live his life. It sets out the duties of parents towards their children, of masters to their servants, and of the rich to the poor. So we learned the Christianity, and last year you learned the Hinduism. So now one more, the what you can say, the most appreciable or most important communities is Islamic community. Okay, so what they follow, what are the main features of that community, isn't it? Why it became so famous worldwide, isn't it? So this Muslim community stands on five main basic pillars. How many pillars? Five. Why they called it as a pillars? Okay, to construct any house or any complexes, you have seen there have been columns have been fixed. Okay, you have seen a square columns, isn't it? Before constructing anything, any house or a small complex or a big complex or any apartments, you just see, you stand for a while and see how many columns they have taken and why those columns are become so important. So Muslim community is a community which was born and which is still surviving with a great number of people following it and believing it in it. So these pillars, five pillars, are very very important for a Islamic or anyone would like to follow the community. So what are they? The first ones is Shahadaha and Salaha, Swam, Zakaha and Hajj. So Shahadaha means we should believe in one God. Okay, we should believe in one God, that is Allah, and Muhammad Prophet as his messenger. We have to believe in Allah, only one God, single God. Okay. The second one says that a Muslim, the one who wants to follow or one who is born for a Muslim community has to follow 5 times namaz. Namaz means 5 prayers in a day. You might have observed the even ladies staying at home, they perform 5 times namaz. They get up morning, early morning around 4:30 and 5 o'clock is their first namaz. Isn't it, children? So whole day they perform 5 namaz at home also, even ladies and gents. If they get a any assembly hall, like how we learnt in Christianity, they created the assembly hall where the community people can gather. We say that church and all. Same way, Muslims will go to mosque, isn't it? Mosque nowadays, because of Corona, it has been closed, but otherwise it is open. And Friday afternoon and evening prayers are so important. You see that if you are a Muslim or if you are non-Muslim, you can see near the mosque the people are in large number because they consider Friday as an auspicious day and they perform all together. They come there, they wash their hands, legs, and they get have that feeling that we are purified, and they get inside that mosque and they pray to God all together, and they pray for the universe. They pray for everyone. It is not that no, God give me only always. No, when they stand, when they bend, when they do that namaz, they do it only for the universe, the nature, the God, the one God, isn't it? So they do it 5 times in a day. That is their second pillar. First is believe in one God. Okay. And the third says that, okay, so the swarm means whosoever, okay, whosoever belongs to this community will have to help others. It is not that I am earning and I am eating, isn't it? If you are able to feed some people during Ramzan and all, you have seen that people who are staying street side and all, these Muslim community people, they come in a large number, or they keep the shabils. Shabils means where they will provide free cost of food or some juices or sometimes tea, sometimes even water. They keep a shabils means small sort of a stalls where they can feed the poor and needy people. And the last fourth one is zakaha. Zakaha means it is for the again helping the needy and the poor. And last one is Hajj. A person who is born in Muslim community has to visit Hajj. Hajj is in Mecca. Okay, there is a Mecca and Medina which is considered to be the very holy place for the Muslims, wherein they can go and they can attend the prayers, and they have to stay there for some time, and all the small dargahs are there or mosques are there in nearby places where they have to visit, and they have to complete their 40 days journey. That is said to be very auspicious for a person who is born in Muslim. Okay, and the next important is fifth pillar. Okay, that is the Hajj, visiting the pilgrimage. Like in India, we visit to Kashi, Rameshwar, and other places. Okay, same way, the one who is born in Muslim has to visit this pilgrimage. Okay, then one more concept is being very important, that is Quran. Okay, Quran is a holy book. Like Hindus, holy book is Bhagavad Gita, Christian is Bible, and Muslims is Quran. So Quran is full set of the things which have only about the Islamic community, what they have to follow, what not they have to follow, how they have to follow, what they have to do in their lifetime. It covers whole Islamic community, okay, what they have to follow. Okay, so children, open your next page, that is page number 26 and first point. Okay, central teachings of Islam. So what the teachings Islam and why it becomes so important for us. First says that belief in one God who is the creator of the entire universe. He is the only one all powerful and all knowing God. Belief in God's messenger Muhammad, the last of the messengers of God, forbids idol worship and manifestation of human and animal figures. There will be a last judgment during which all humanity will be raised to life and appear before Allah to be judged. Denounces consumption of alcohol and pork. Okay, so these teachings of Islam. Okay, firstly, in teachings of Islam, it says that we should believe in one God. Okay, in Christian also, they say that we should believe in one God and Jesus Christ is their God. They believed in Jesus Christ and the symbol was plus mark. Same way in Islam also, they said that you should believe in single God. Means we should have a strong belief in God and the God is only one. And second says God's messenger. I say you all that Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad is considered to be the God's messenger. He was the first and he was the last. Okay. He was the last messenger from the God who has been sent from the God. He is a Prophet Muhammad. And the third says that forbid means we should leave off the prayers which shows the figures like in some animal featuring or human featuring. See, they say that God is one and he don't have any shape or he doesn't look like a humans, he doesn't look like a animals. He is a power, universal power. There is some power which is governing us, isn't it? So that power you have to believe, not the figures, not the statues, not the paintings, we should believe. He says that we should leave that all. Only God is a universal power and we should believe that power. And the fourth says that if you commit any sort of a sin means pap karna, papa maduvudu. Okay, in your class also, in your home also, sometimes your mom may be saying that if you lie, God will punish you. We always leave the judgment to the God. For each and everything in home also, if something fight goes on, shall we take it to the courts of law? Shall we complain that same small things, if your sister hits you, if your brother hits you, or in classroom if your friends hit you, do you go to any police station and complain about it? No, no. Why you don't do that? Because you have a belief that your teacher at home, your mother will solve that, and mother will try, even teacher will try to rectify. Rectify means both the parties. If you are telling that she has taken your pen and that person is telling no, no, I have not taken your pen, so teacher work or teacher comes in between or mother comes in between and she says that you just voluntarily accept. She says to the both the people, that first person who is putting the what you can say, he's telling that he has taken his pen. So she asked him, you check your bag properly or your cupboards, then you put it on him. And she says same way to the second person, beta, if you have taken it, if you have taken by mistakenly or kept that pen in your bag or in your tiffin bag, please give it to him. This is not the character which you need to build. So here also in Muslim community they says that Allah, the supreme power, is the best orator and he will punish and he will judge the people. Whatever sin, in Bhagavad Gita also they say that whatever sin you do, it is being calculated. It is being calculated means how you calculate 1 to 100, thousands, million, billion, trillion. Same way your sins. Sins means pap karma. Your bad, avilic, cruel deeds. Okay, Papa Karma, we say in Kannada. So that all, whatever you are performing, that all will be calculated. Whatever sins you do, that will be calculated. So here in Islam they say that Allah is the supreme judge. Supreme judge means you cannot escape from the hands or the clutches of God, because you need to believe in one God and God is going to give. If you do the good things, you will get a good deeds. If you are doing bad things, then you will be getting the punishment from the universal power. Okay, so in fifth says that denounces means you should avoid drinking alcohol. Okay, you might have seen the people who drink and they sleep on the footpaths. How it looks, children? Do you feel nice when you see a person who is totally drunk and who is not in his senses, especially in bus stands or in some parks or the benches of any park, they will be sleeping. Or sometimes, if they can't work, they cannot walk also, they just sleep on the footpaths nearby the places, okay, where they drink and they are unable to walk. So what it shows, children? Their slippers are one side, their body is one side, even the dogs are coming, they are doing all the bloody shit things and they are sensing that person who is slept on the roadside. So is it a like socially you will be valued? Do you have a value if you drink and roam like this? Or you drink and sleep on the road? Do you like a person sleeping on the road? Yes, you don't like. No one likes it. And so only in Islam it is very much said that a person who follows Islam should not drink, isn't it? And he should not eat the pork. Pork means the flesh of pig. Okay. Pigs are being, there are pigs, white pigs, which the foreigners and other country people also eat it. In army also they grow those pigs. Okay, they are white in color, not the normal pigs they eat, which comes to our houses, behind our houses. They eat all the waste things. No, not that type of pigs. They grow white pigs, especially found in Australia and in Arab countries. So in Islam, it is said that you should avoid alcohol. A person who follows the Islam should not drink alcohol and should not eat the pork. Isn't it, children? So, next comes the spread of Islam. Okay, any community has to spread. There are some pros and cons. Pros and cons means there is some positivity and there are some negative. Negativity means from the community. Okay, there are some people in the community which are who are very much opposing. They don't want the community to be developed and they don't want the community to be grow to the very highest place. They search one or the other negative things in it. So what was a negative thing and what was a positive thing which spread the community called Islam? Okay, the same page number, that is 26, page number 26. Okay, is Muhammad's successor and the spread of Islam. Successor means after Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, after Prophet Muhammad, who took over the dynasty and how they spread this community called Islam. After Muhammad's death in 632 AD, no one could legitimately claim to be the next prophet of Islam. Relying on ancient tribal custom, the Muslim community elected as their leader Abu Bakr, a loyal friend of Muhammad. In 632, Abu Bakr became the first caliph, a title that means successor or deputy. Rightly guided caliphs Abu Bakr and the next three elected caliphs Umar, Uthman and Ali all had known Muhammad. They used the Quran and Muhammad's actions as guides to leadership. For this, they are known as the rightly guided caliphs. Their rule was called a caliphate. Their rule was called caliphate. Abu Bakr involved jihad to encourage and justify the expansion of Islam. The word jihad means striving and can refer to the inner struggle against evil. However, the word is also used in Quran to mean an armed struggle against unbelievers. When Abu Bakr died in 634, the Muslim state controlled whole Arabia. Under Umar, the second caliph, Muslim armies conquered Syria and Lower Egypt, which were part of the Byzantine Empire. They also took the parts of the Sassanid Empire. Okay, three sections of Muslims or Islam are the Sunnis, who form the majority of Muslims the world over, recognize the succession of Prophet Muhammad, Abu Bakr to the next three caliphs. The Shiites are the followers of Ali, Muhammad son-in-law. The Sufis, the Islamis, and the Wahhabis are the other important sections. So it has been divided into three sections. So let us learn how the Islam grown and what are the things which made it to grow. So after Prophet Muhammad, okay, when the Islam community lost Prophet Muhammad, they were in a deep mourning. Not morning, it is mourning. Mourning. Mourning means they were having a deep feeling or the deep sadness that who is going to take over the next prophet, who is going to handle this Islam community and who is going to spread all over the world, because they believed Islam is a community which everyone can accept and it is adorable and it can be acceptable, and by accepting this community a person will saturate or purify himself. So they strongly believed in it, so they were working towards it, isn't it? So what happens next? So Prophet Muhammad was died in 632 AD. So next prophet was not there. So they were thinking, and the person who was with Prophet Muhammad or the followers, Shishya. Okay, Shishya means you follow your teachers, no? You are said as Guru and Shishya. Okay, same way there was a person who was with Prophet Muhammad, Abu Bakr. His name was Abu Bakr. Next, he became the successor of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, because he was following all the rules which the Prophet Muhammad was saying. Okay, what his sayings were there, what the five pillars which a Muslim has to follow, he was under him. Prophet Muhammad was a messenger of God and he is the first and last messenger of God, is being believed by everyone. Same way, this Abu Bakr has followed Prophet Muhammad and he was very much sincerely following the Islamic community, and he is known as the Caliph. Caliph means the person who is successor or who has become the deputy of that dynasty. So this Abu Bakr not only does he only succeed or successor or succeeds in the Islam community, but he calls other three also to be with him. Who are they? They are Umar and Uthman and Ali. They are three. One is Umar, Uthman and Ali. Okay, they take the help of all these three to spread the Islam community, isn't it? And they all together they trust on jihad. Jihad means striving or getting more empire or getting more the Muslim community, spreading more towards the other countries. So they went to many other countries, they acquired the empires like Egypt, Syria and Lower Egypt, and the part of Byzantine Empire. Byzantine Empire was whose empire? Whose empire? It was Constantinople I who has made his Byzantine Empire. So they acquired that also, Syria, Egypt. Okay, they made that Arabian countries separately. So there are three main basic communities in Islam. One is Sunnis. Sunnis who follow only the rules and regulations and the Quran, and they believe in Prophet Muhammad, are called Sunnis. And the next is Sheikhs. Okay, Sheikhs are the people who follow the Muhammad's son-in-law. Muhammad's son-in, they follow Muhammad's son-in-law. Okay, and the third community is Wahhabis, and they follow the Sufis and Islamis. Okay, these are the three main basics of that community and the types of community. Like Hindu, you have Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Shudras, like this. The community is being divided. In Islam also, it is like Sunnis and Sheikhs and Wahhabis. So it is like three communities in there also. So next coming to the like next, how who was a famous dynasty, who ruled famously, and who was that person who took this Islam to the highest position. Okay, so open page number 27 and come to first point, the Umayyads. Okay, here is the next dynasty and the next great empire, Umayyads. So Umayyads was the first great Muslim dynasty to rule the empire of the Caliphate in the 661 AD to 750 AD, sometimes referred as the Arab kingdom. Under Adab al-Malik reign, that is 685 to 705, the Umayyad Caliphate reached the peak. Muslim armies overran most of the Spain in the west and invaded Mukharan and Sindh in India, while in Central Asia they conquered Bukharan and Samarkand for Fergana and Tashkent is and the extensive program of Azerbaijan Arabic became the official state of language. The financial administration of the empire was reorganized with Arabs replacing the Persian and Greek officials and the new Arabic coinage replaced the earlier coins. Communication also improved with the introduction of a regular post service from Damascus to the provincial capitals and architecture flourished. Vigorous religious and political opposition to the Umayyad Caliphate led to its downfall. Rebel groups overthrew the Umayyads in the year 750. The most powerful of those groups was Abbasids, took control of the empire. So here children, Umayyads are the great dynasty which ruled the Islam next after the Ali. So they were the very great kings and dynasty was they acquired the caliphate. Caliphate means the one who follows all the Muslims rules and regulation, and these are being run by the caliphs. Means there was a dharam guru or the person who was leading them. So Umayyad, like this, they became very 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 famous, and they created the new kingdom called Arab kingdom. Now we say the Arabian countries. Which are the Arab countries? Okay, which are the Arab countries? Muslim countries like Iran, Iraq, and Kuwait, Dubai. These all the countries are called Arab countries or Arab kingdoms. So in Arab kingdoms, what they did under the Al Malik, that is from 685 to 705, they ruled for a very long period and very successfully. Umayyad Caliphate, when he was a king, his dynasty has reached to the peak. Peak means, I told you, all the people in his dynasty were happy and he was leading a very good life with his fellow men. Means he was a great king who was holding everything in his hand. So, most of the parts which the Umayyads have covered, they are Spain in west and in invaded the Mukran Sindh in India. You know that Sindh is also called as Indus Valley. So they have come to India also. Okay. They have come to India and they have invaded. Invaded means these are the people from other country who have come to India and who have ruled the Sindh Prant. We say no Sindh Prant. That is in the north side of our India. Isn't it? Conquered the Bukhara, Samarkand and Fergana and Tashkent. So he not only conquers or invades in India, Spain, but he comes to the other countries like Bukhara and Samarkand and Fergana and Tashkent. So you can imagine how great this Umayyads. Okay, next the urbanization or taking the Islam to the highest peak was done by these people. What they did? They did Arabic language. Arabic language means the Islamic language, the Urdu writing. If you have seen, they write from left to right. So that writing, that language, they made it as a official language. Now, which is the official language of India? Which is the official language? It is said to be Hindi, but Britishers ruled us for 150 years, so we still we are using English for our drafts, isn't it? It becomes very easy for us. But our official language is Hindi. Okay, in Karnataka, which is the official language? It should be Kannada. Okay, you go to Maharashtra, you go to Tamil Nadu, you see all the shops which are written in their basic language or the official language. Like Maharashtrian, it is a Marathi language. So you can see all the boards are written in Marathi compulsorily, isn't it? So we all also have to follow and give more importance to our mother tongue, that is Kannada. I don't say that you should not learn English, but with English we should give the same importance for our mother tongue. See, during that period of time, Arabians, the Islam people have taken this Islam and Arabic language to the peak or the highest. It was considered to be one of the greatest language during that period of time. So the Umayyads have given that importance to their official language. Then comes the coinage. Before Umayyads also there were coins, but during this Umayyads the total coinage has changed and they made the coins which are of metals and they started their business with these coins. Okay children, you have understood this up to Umayyads? Okay. Children, today's homework. Okay. Explain the Umayyads dynasty. Okay. You have to explain Umayyads dynasty. You have to write in a homework book. Second one is list out the central teachings of Islam. Okay, what the teachings of Islam? Centrally, what they have taught, you need to write in your homework. These two questions you need to copy in your homework book. Thank you for watching me.